Hello all, welcome to another session in this course. As part of this session, I am going to cover the next topic under flow control statements, that is conditional statements. In the previous session, I have covered in a detailed manner what exactly are the flow control statements and how the JavaScript programs will look like without flow control statements and with flow control statements, and what are the different categories of the flow control statements that I have covered or listed down at a high level in the previous session. But now in this session, I'm going to go into this one of the category of this, one of the category of this flow control statements, that is conditional, or you can also call them as selection. Okay, conditional or selection statements. I'm going to get started in this session. So let's get started. So here I have some notes, guys. Okay, I'll be using these notes as a reference. Okay, though I'll be explaining by myself, but I'll be using this as a reference. So yeah, let me browse here. Fine, let's come to the top. Okay. So a lot of items are there here. I'm going to use this just for reference purpose or something. Okay. But apart from that, I don't want to use that. So let me come to the paint software here. And then let me explain about the conditional statements now. Okay. Let me explain about this conditional statements. Conditional, or you can also call them as selection statements. Conditional or selection statements. Conditional or selection statements. Okay. Conditional or selection statements. So we have different conditional or selection statements. First one is if selection statement or if conditional statement. Second one is if else. Second one is if else. Third one is if else. Fourth one is switch case. Okay, these are the four conditional or selection statements we have in the JavaScript. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate one by one for you. Okay. The conditional or selection statements, how they generally work. Let me explain at a high level. Okay. For example, this is a JavaScript file, and in this some lines of code are available. Okay. Some lines of, okay, these are the JavaScript lines of code that are available here. Let me write these lines of the code in this JavaScript file. Okay. So this is a JavaScript file. In that some lines of JavaScript code are available. So when you run this code without this flow control statements, or whatever it is, the code will be executed one by one line, okay, as covered in the previous section. After the first line, the second line will get executed. After second line, third line, then fourth line, fifth line, sixth line, and so on, right? That's how without flow control statements, the code will get executed. But if you are using this conditional or selection statements, what is possible? Okay. So the code can be executed something like this, okay? The code can be executed something like this. Okay. So what happened? First line got executed, second line of the code got executed, third line of the code got executed. Here there will be some condition, guys. Okay, there will be some condition. Based on the result of this condition, if this condition results in false, let's say, if this condition results in false, okay, this conditional expression like a greater than b or something, if it results in false, then what happens? This particular lines of the code, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay, 4 to 9 lines will not get executed. You see, the flow of the execution of the code is not even touching this line. These lines of the code won't be executed. 4 to 9 will not get executed. The next line that got executed is 10th line, 11th line, 12th line. Okay. For example, guys, this is a for example where in one of the JavaScript file, if you have used this one of the conditional or selection statements, for example, it may happen that first three lines got executed, after the 10th, 11th, and 12th line got executed. In between lines got skipped from execution. Okay. And how they got skipped from execution? Based on this condition. If the condition was true, this particular lines would have been executed. But if since the condition has resulted in false, these lines got skipped from execution. If you want to achieve this kind of stuff, when the condition is true, you want to run these lines of the code. When the condition is false, you don't want to run this particular lines of the code. Such kind of situation, if you want to encounter and use in JavaScript programming, then you have to use this conditional or selection statements, guys. Okay, the first one, okay, using which this kind of category is possible, this kind of style is possible, is if selection statements or if conditional statements. Let me demonstrate this if first. Okay. So here I'm going to create a JavaScript file, guys. Okay, I'll just name this JavaScript file as you know if or conditional one dot js, okay, conditional or selection one dot js, whatever the file, just for sample I'm creating, or okay. So here I'll write some code here, okay. Let a is equal to 5, comma b is equal to 3. Okay, like this I'll create two variables, okay, and initialize this first variable with 5, second variable with 3, and all those stuff. Now I'm going to write a code if circular bracket, if, okay, if is a keyword, and after the if keyword we have circular brackets, guys, okay. We have to write circular brackets. You have to use the if keyword in JavaScript, and followed by that you have to give the circular brackets. After the circular brackets, you have to use curly brace. Okay, the starting of the if block, this ending of the if block. Okay, like that you have to write. And here circular brackets cannot be empty, guys. Circular brackets cannot be empty. After the if keyword, whatever the circular brackets are there, they cannot be empty. Okay, here we need to write something. Okay, what is that we can write here? We can give some condition, A greater than B. Like that one condition I give. Okay. Based on this condition, either the lines of the code which are there in the starting and ending of this block will be executed or skipped. We don't know. Okay. So let's see. Okay. If A is greater than B, here I'll write down console.log and I'll just print out A is greater than B. I'll just write like this. A is greater than B, I'll write. Okay. A is greater than B, I'll write. If A is greater than B, okay, then print A is greater than B. Now here, let me run this code. Will this code will be executed or not? Clear? Let me run this code. I'll just say node space conditional one dot js. Enter. A is greater than B got printed. Okay, you see this particular line of the code which is there in the if block got executed. So try to understand this, guys. I have created two variables, and here if keyword is there. Okay, if you want to use the if conditional statement or if selection statement, you have to write the if keyword. Followed by the if keyword, you have to write the circular brackets. Inside the circular brackets, you have to give the conditional expression, which either will, how many conditions are there here? Only one condition. Okay, in this if selection statements, only one condition is there. Based on the result of this condition, either this line, this code inside the if block will be executed or it will not be executed. Okay, if A is greater than B, 5 is greater than 3, true or false? If it is true, the code inside the if block will be executed and A is greater than B will be printed. A is greater than B will be printed. If the condition is resulting in false, then this particular line of the code which is there in the, this is called as if block, guys. Okay, starting of this curly brace after the if selection statement, and ending of the curly brace at the end of this thing, is this particular part is called as a if block. Okay, inside the if block there is some, you can have multiple lines of the code if you want. Okay, here only one line I have written. Here only one line I have written. You can write multiple lines of the code. For now, inside this if block, only for sample I have written this console.log. Okay, and so in real time you will be writing the real code, guys. Just for now, just to see whether this particular lines of the code are get the code that is there inside the if block got executed or not. I am writing this kind of print statements, but ultimately in real time, okay, inside this if block we'll be writing some code. Okay, the some other code. Okay, so here to understand these concepts of the if selection statements and all, right, I'm writing this console.log. Fine. Anyhow, so this statement is getting printed. You see, A is greater than B is getting printed. Okay, we run this, A is greater than B is getting printed because 5 is greater than 3. 5 is greater than 3. That's correct. Since 5 is greater than 3, the code that is inside the if block is getting executed. What if I make it 3 to 13? What will happen if I make this 3 as 13? What will happen in that case? If I make 3 as 13, is still 5 greater than 13? No. If it is false, what will happen? This block will not be executed. The block will be skipped. The block will be skipped. Just see here. Anything got printed when I run this? JavaScript, when I run the code inside the JavaScript file, is anything got printed here? No, no output. Because since the condition has been false, the code inside the block has not been executed. What if after this if selection statement or if conditional statement or if block, if I have some other statements available, like end of this program, like this, if I write, okay, in this case, if the condition is false, this particular line of the code, you see the execution started from this line got executed. When the condition came here, since the condition is resulting in false, 5 greater than 13 is false, directly from line third, okay, we'll directly go to the line 7. Okay, what about this lines? This won't be executed. This particular highlighted code won't be executed, guys. Since the condition is resulting in false, we'll not go inside the if block and directly end of the program will be printed. Run this, end of this program will be printed, end of this program will be printed. Okay, clear? So this is the thing, guys. Okay, that A is equal to 5, B is equal to 13, and So based on the condition, if the condition is true, this particular code which is there inside the if block will be executed. If the condition is resulting in false, this particular block of the code won't be executed. It will go to the next line and continue with the execution. Okay. So here only end of the program because the condition is resulting in false. What if I give it 15? 15 is greater than 13 is true. Since the condition is true, A is greater than B will be printed. End of this program also will be printed. Okay. Enter. You see, A is greater than B and end of this program also will be printed. A is greater than B, end of this program, both will be printed. So hope guys, you understood this, right? This is what is the if selection statement. Okay, this is what is the if selection statements. Okay, these are if selection statements or if conditional statements. Apart from the if, okay, we also have if else. We also have if else. Okay, how to? Let me demonstrate the if else, guys. Okay, let me demonstrate the if else for you now. So for that, I'll just create a new JavaScript file and I'll say conditional 2.js. Okay. And here I'll be writing the code. Let A is equal to 5, B is equal to 3. See, same line, same statement I have written when I compare to the previous JavaScript file. And here if I have to use this, if I have to use this if else, okay. So how the if else will work here is if the condition is true, some block of the code will be executed. If the condition is false, some other block of the code, either one of the block will be executed. If the condition is true, if block will get executed. If the condition is false, else block will be executed. Okay. So there, unlike if selection statements, here only one block will be there, but here two blocks will be there. Here in if selection statements, only if block will be there. But in if else selection statements, if block will be there, else block will be there. Okay. So let me show you how it looks like. If keyword will be there similar to the if selection statements. Here if else also will have the same if keyword. And here circular brackets will be there. Here I'll say A greater than B is a conditional expression. Starting of the if block, ending of the if block. This is starting of the if block, this is ending of the if block. So inside the if block I'll write. Inside the if block I'll write console.log. Okay, I'll write A is greater than B, I'll write. Okay, A is greater than B. So this looks similar to the if selection statement. Yes, 100% right. But here at the end of the if block, I'm going to write else. Okay, else keyword, and this starting of the else block, this is the ending of the else block. This starting of the else block, this is the ending of the else block. Here I'll write, okay, A is less than B. Okay. If the condition is true, A is greater than B should be printed. If the condition is false, A is less than B should be printed. Clear? So this is what is, okay, based on the condition result. If the condition is resulting in true, this line will get executed. If the condition is resulting in false, this particular line will get executed. Okay, that's what is the if else selection statements or if else conditional statements in JavaScript. Okay, let's run this code and see what exactly is happening, guys. Okay, let's run this code, conditional2.js. If I run this code, A will be 5 and B will be 3. 5 greater than 3 is true. Since the condition is resulting true, if block will be executed or else block will be executed. The condition is resulting in true, if block will get executed. That is A is greater than B will be printed. Run this, you see, A is greater than B got printed. What if I make this B as 13? A is 5 and B is 13, what will happen? 5 greater than 13 is false. If the condition is resulting in false, in earlier case, no code was getting executed. But here, if the condition is resulting in false, 5 greater than 13 is false, which is false, then the if block will be skipped. This block will be, the code which is there in the if block will be skipped, and the control will go to the else block, and the code inside the else block will get executed. A is less than B should be printed this time. You see, A is less than B. Either this block code of this block of code or this block of code will get executed based on the result of this condition, guys. Okay, that's what is if else selection statements or if else conditional statements. Hope it is clear. Then if is done, if else is done. Okay, based on here also one condition will be there, here also one condition is there, but in based on the condition, if the condition is true, the block will be executed. The condition is false, this block will be skipped from execution, no other block will get executed. But if the in this case of if else, based on the condition is true or false, if the condition is true, if block will get executed. If the condition is false, else block code inside the else block will get executed. Okay, anyhow, one particular block will be executed based on the result of this condition. Okay, fine. Next one we have is if else selection statements are conditional statements. Okay, here till now only one condition was there. Okay, if you go here and check, guys, if you go here and check, only one condition is there. Based on this condition, this particular block of the code will get executed or not will be decided. And here also in if else also, in if else is another keyword, guys. If is one keyword, else is another keyword. Okay, if you are using if else selection statements or conditional statements, here also only one condition is there. Based on this condition, either if block will get executed or else block will get executed. Okay, fine. Now coming to the next one, that is if else. Okay, if else. This kind of selection statements or conditional statements can have more than one conditions. Okay, let me show you how we can use that. I'll create one more file here. I'll just name this file as conditional 2, or I'll just say 3.js. Conditional 3.js I'll write down, okay? Conditional 1, conditional 2, conditional 3. Okay, in this conditional 3, what I will write here is let a is equal to 5, comma b is equal to, I'll write many more. Okay, let's say a is equal to 9, comma b is equal to 7, c is equal to 6, d is equal to 4, e is equal to 1, like that. Multiple variables I'm creating. Okay, I created like this. Okay, now I'm going to write the code like if keyword will be there, circular bracket, starting of the if block, ending of the if block. In this, I'll give the condition a less than b is a condition. If a is less than b, I would like to print a is less than B. Okay, this particular string text I want to print, which is surrounded by double quotes, with help of console.log, I would like to print. If the condition is true, this particular statement need to be printed. Now I'll write else keyword, give a space, and now copy the same if condition here. After the else keyword, copy this. Okay, instead of ending the else block like this, give a space and copy this if condition and paste it. Here, more than one conditions can exist. In normal if selection statements and if else selection statements, only one condition was there. But in case of if else, okay, if else selection statements, more than one conditions can be there. Okay, so here if condition, else another if condition, after else another if condition is coming, that is called as else if. Here I'll write down else if b less than c, I'll write, okay, else if b less than c, console.log b is less than c. Then else if c less than d. You see, another else keyword came, and after that another if condition came. You can have any number of there is no limit, how many if conditions you want to have as part of this if else selection statements. Okay, you can have any number of if conditions inside this. More than one condition exists here. Okay, c is less than d. C is less than d. Else if d less than e. Okay, clg d is less than e. Then else if, okay, a is less than b, b is less than e, c is less than d, d is less than e, and finally I'll put else block only. I don't want to have any more conditions. I'll just write else block here. Okay, I would like to write else block here saying, okay, e is the least of all. E is the least of all. Okay, like this I have to write the JavaScript code, guys. Okay, now just see what is happening. A is equal to 9, b is equal to 7, c is equal to 6, d is equal to 4, e is equal to 1. Okay, so 9 is less than 7, true or false? 9 is less than 7 is false. If this is false, this particular block of the code will be skipped from execution. Then after the else, another, you see the control, if this particular thing is resulting in false, this will get skipped and the control will go to the next condition, next if condition. B is less than C. 7 less than 6, again false. This code will be skipped from execution, it will not be executed. Control will go to the next if condition after the else keyword. That is 6 less than 4, again false. This block of the code will also get skipped. The control will go to the next if condition. D less than E, 4 less than 1 is again false. This will get skipped. And the control will go here, and there is no more if condition left out. There is no more if condition left out. So else block will get executed. That is E is the list of the all will be printed. E is the list of the all will be printed. Just run this code and see that. Okay, if I run this code and see that, if I run this code, see that E is the list of all will be printed. Okay, E is the list of the all will be printed, guys. Okay, so this is what is the thing, guys. Okay, E is the list of the all will be printed. Done. Next. So next thing is what if here B is 17. In another case, the value of the value that is stored into the B is 17. What will happen in this case? A less than B, 9 less than 17, which is true. Okay, 9 less than 17 is true. If 9 less than 17 is true, if this condition is resulting in true, which block will get executed? If block will get executed. A is less than B will be printed. All the remaining blocks will be skipped. Only the block for which this condition has resulted in true for the first time will be skipped. That is A is less than B will be printed. Remaining all blocks will be skipped from execution, guys. Just see here what is going to happen. A is less than B will be printed. A is less than B will be printed. What if I just remove this 1 from here and I'll put 16 here. Okay. 9, 7, 16, 4, 1. What will happen? A less than B. 9 less than 7. False. 9 less than 7 is false. If this is false, this particular block of the code won't get executed in the if block, and we'll go to the next if block where B less than C. 7 less than 16, which is true. B 7 less than 16 is true. Since it is less than true, we'll go inside this, and B is less than C will be printed in the output console, and remaining all blocks will be skipped. One of the condition is satisfied in this if else selection statements, that only particular block will get executed, remaining all blocks will be skipped. Here B is less than C should be printed. Let's see. B is less than C will be printed. I'll remove this one here and put one before the 4. What will happen in this case? A less than B. 9 less than 7, which is false. This block will be skipped. Next condition, B less than C. 7 less than 6. Again false. This block will be skipped. C less than D. 6 less than 14, which is true. If it is true, what will happen? We'll go inside this particular if block for which the condition became true for the first time, and C is less than D will be printed, and remaining blocks will be skipped. These blocks won't be executed. Just run this, you see, C is less than D got printed. Now, I'll remove this one from here and put a 1 at the end. What will happen? Let's see. Okay, so here you see A is less than B. 9 less than 7, false. This block got skipped. B less than C. 7 less than 6, false. This block got skipped. C less than D. 6 less than 4, false. This block got skipped. D less than E. 4 less than 11. 4 less than 11. 4 less than 11 is true or false? It is true. 4 is less than 11 is true. So we'll go inside this last else if block, and in that D is less than E got printed. Okay, D is less than E will be printed, guys. D is less than E will be printed now. Just see here, D is less than E will be printed. What about the else block? That won't get executed. Only the condition for which conditional block for which the condition has been satisfied, only that block will be executed, and remaining all blocks won't get executed. If all the conditions are resulting in false, finally the else block will get executed. If one of the condition is true, only that particular block of the code will get executed. Remaining of the block of the code, including the else block, won't get executed. Okay, this is what you need to learn about this. Okay, if else selection statements. Okay, so with this, I completed the 3 conditional or selection statements we have in the JavaScript. That is if else, and if else. Okay, now we have one more thing, that is a switch case, guys. Okay, I'll explain more about the switch case in the next session, guys. Okay, the next session I'll cover this. Okay, I need to cover this switch case in depth. For now, these are very simple things, so I covered this in these 3 conditional statements or selection statements in this session. In the next session, I'm going to cover the switch case selection statements in detail for you. So only this one I'm not covering in this session. I'll take this to the next session so that the length of the session doesn't go too big. Okay, so with that note, guys, let's meet in the next session. So that's all for this session. Let's meet in the next session. Thank you. Bye.